So is my YouTube channel dying? The unfortunate answer is yes.
A few days ago, a friend of mine and fellow YouTuber Action Kid posted a video on his channel titled, "My channel is failing, here's why." And in that video, he discussed several of the challenges he is facing as a creator in the Walktubing genre here on YouTube, as well as some of the challenges facing other creators. So in this video, I'm going to address some of those issues that he brought up and give you my 2 cents on those, as well as tell you how I think my channel is doing, if it's failing or not. So this is going to be a little bit different from my usual walk and talk video, so if this isn't your thing, by all means go ahead and skip it. There's going to be a little bit more of my facing the camera on this one than usual. Most of my videos are walking tours of Toronto, and I'll give you a little bit of background about myself. I've been doing this channel since December of 2018. And I've been full-time since August of 2020. But before I went full-time, I was an office dweller. I've worked in offices for most of my life since I graduated university back in 2003. There was a 5-year period where I lived in Seoul, Korea, just to teach English. But I started this channel in 2018, I think around December of 2018, just doing these kind of goofy hyperlapse videos. And then the pandemic came, and that's where things really started to take off, and I was getting a lot more views. I also changed jobs around that time. And then I think it was around August of 2020, I was just looking to diversify my content a little bit, so I started doing narrated videos and live streams. I was the first one to do both of those things in the city. And also, I did something else. I quit my job. So I decided to take the plunge and go full-time at this Walktubing thing. And I'll talk a little bit about my reasons for that and where I was financially when I made that decision. But yeah, I guess you could say I took a lot of inspiration from Action Kid. Back when I started, there were only a few of us in this city doing walking videos. And again, nobody was doing the narrated videos or the live streams. There's a train pulling into Davisville Station. But since I started this channel, it has amassed over 141,000 subscribers, nearly 50 million views. And there are over 3,200 videos up on the channel. So not quite as many subscribers, views, or videos as Action Kid, but certainly enough to give me some kind of credit in terms of knowing what the hell I'm talking about. So as Action Kid noted in his video, a lot of the rise of this genre could be due to the pandemic bubble. A lot of people were kind of trapped inside and wondering how things were going in the outside world, particularly in our big cities like this one in Canada and New York City in the States, of course. And that really led to a lot of viewers. People were just home, streaming services were witnessing an explosion in viewers. Platforms like YouTube and TikTok and Instagram were all getting a lot more views than they used to and a lot more attention. It was really just kind of the perfect storm, or I guess for the Walktubing genre in general, it was kind of the perfect medicine for a lot of people. It was a chance to see what was going on in the outside world. But now that we're back to a strange new normal, people are out more and watching less. But fortunately for me, my views have pretty much grown year over year, although 2025 will likely be a step back from 2024. Although typically December is a big month. So while views have certainly stagnated a little bit since the pandemic, they certainly haven't really gone down or retracted a whole lot since then. But for the most part, I agree with what he was saying on that topic. And one point he made for the decline in Walktubing is that there's just so many channels these days. The barrier to entry is quite low. Pretty much anyone with a camera like this, the DJI Pocket 3 or a gimbal and a smartphone can start a channel. All you really need is a computer or even your phone just to upload the videos. There's typically not a lot of editing that goes into one of these videos. For instance, when I get home from recording a video, I can throw it all on the computer, I can edit it, which includes the animated map I include and all the graphics I sprinkle in and that sort of thing, fixing the audio in about 10 or 15 minutes. Then it's another 20, 25 minutes to render it, and then maybe another 5 minutes or so to upload the file. Having fiber internet certainly helps. And then I just have to make a title and a thumbnail. Again, that's 30, 40 minutes of work, and we're done. So I'm able to do that every day, but the thing is, so can you, or just about anyone. It's really a low barrier to entry. And over the past few years, I have seen dozens and dozens and dozens of channels in this city alone pop up. Many have come and gone, but many are still around. The creators often doing an excellent job, but oops. I guess we're sharing the bike lane. I thought cyclists were supposed to move onto the road when this happens. But anyways, yeah, the barriers to entry are low, and there's just so much saturation in this city, but also in New York, Tokyo, London, Seoul, anywhere there's a big city with a big audience, there are dozens, if not hundreds, of Walktubing channels. And on that note, for all the people that love to view these channels, there's so many hours in a day, and these are kind of long form videos that take a lot of your time to watch. So I certainly can't blame you all for not being able to watch all the videos on this channel and the other channels. It's just simply a logistical reality of Walktubing. And there's a Harry Potter themed subway train on line 1. And there's another train rolling north or rolling south into St. Clair Station right there. There's someone going the wrong way. But yeah, the sheer volume of other channels makes it hard for any one channel to really stand out. I really am fortunate. I kind of had that first mover's advantage, or was an early adopter in this genre. Another point that Action Kid made is that there's been many changes to the way the YouTube algorithm works and feeds videos to the viewers out there, as well as a shift in viewer behavior in general. There's been a rise in short form content, including Reels, TikToks, and Shorts, dominating those with short attention spans. And everywhere you look, it seems people are doom scrolling, and even I get sucked into that sometimes. But really, to me, it's just brain rot. Whenever I'm on my phone, just kind of mindlessly scrolling through IG, often finding myself laughing at things that are probably inappropriate and sometimes offensive. That's just the nature of those platforms, but I don't come away the least bit enriched or gaining anything from that experience. Whereas on YouTube, at least, there are videos that creators put a lot of effort into or have some kind of value. So the fact that we're kind of transitioning into this short attention span society is certainly not helping. And another point he makes that I could agree with is there's been a strong rise in AI slop. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm one of those people that doesn't think there's an AI bubble, and I think very much that AI is here to stay and it's going to be a big part of the future. And when I think of the office jobs I used to do, about 75-80% of that work these days could easily be done better, quicker, and more accurate by AI. So for me personally, when I click on a video and I hear an AI-generated voice and what seems to be a rather generic AI-generated script with the kind of generic standard stock footage in the background, I click off the video and make sure I never visit that channel again. But a lot of people get sucked into those videos, and for some reason they end up watching them. I guess they can't be that bad, or maybe all the brain rot from platforms like TikTok and Instagram and even YouTube Shorts has got them accustomed to such slop. But what I really think YouTube needs to do is clearly mark that content as AI generated. And they also need to give you the ability to filter those out of your feed. I think that'll go a long way to maintaining the, I guess, ethos of the platform, being creator driven and having that human touch to it. But AI is certainly something that content creators are having to deal with as competition these days for views. a source of our revenue, especially when you have 3,200 videos like me or thousands more like he does, is the performance of the back catalog. What I mean by that is we have all these older videos that would often from time to time still show up in the feeds of our viewers and people who don't view the channel. And that actually provided a fairly significant source of revenue. This is something I've heard other YouTubers talk about, including Linus Tech Tips, who you're probably familiar with. But the algorithm these days is mostly pushing newer content. So there's definitely a drop in a lot of our older videos. Not really sure if there's anything we can do about it, but it's definitely contributing to a drop in revenue and views for a lot of us. I low-key kind of love this new building going up just north of Yonge and St. Clair. And one thing some of his viewers criticized him for in the comments was kind of overlooking the fact that he moved from being primarily a New York City and a little bit of Miami-based content creator to setting up shop in Asia for the better part of the past year or so. And that has definitely led to some decline in his viewership. And I certainly think if I relocated out of Toronto myself, this channel wouldn't be doing as well, but that doesn't take away or discredit the other points he made in his video. And here's a look at the intersection of Yonge and St. Clair. So had he have stayed in New York and Miami and didn't relocate to Asia for the better part of the past year, would he be doing better than he is now, at least in terms of views on his channel? Well, probably, but he would still be experiencing everything else that he discussed in his video. I agree with him on pretty much everything, and I've certainly experienced a lot of that on my own channel. But what about me and my plans for this channel? Well, for the most part, it's going to be business as usual. Although one way a lot of full-time YouTubers generate revenue is through sponsorships. In the Walktubing genre, where you have a high volume of videos, but typically relatively low views, good sponsorship opportunities are few and far between. I know it's not wise to put all your eggs in one basket, but that's pretty much what I've done. I'm going to continue to remain primarily a full-time YouTuber, making the same kind of content that I do. There will be some one-off videos from time to time, but that's something I've always done. And I also have another channel for non-Toronto or travel-centric stuff over on Johnny Stumbles. I go live there most Sundays at around 8 p.m. EST. But no, I won't be selling courses or anything like that. You'll often see a lot of YouTubers selling courses, and good for them if they're able to do so. But for the most part, I find there's virtually no value to those. There's almost no information you can't find freely available elsewhere. So if you want to support your favorite YouTuber and buy their course, go ahead. But I just don't see there often being much value there. So when I quit YouTube, I was, I guess you could say, gainfully employed. I had a good salary. I had 5 weeks of paid vacation every year. I had benefits as well, but I also had several years of expenses saved up, as well as my investments on top of that. But more importantly, I had no debt. When I was in my late 20s, I had quite a bit of credit card debt as well as a student loan, and I committed to paying both of those off, as well as saving up 6 months to a year of living expenses just in case all hell broke loose. And I've been living like that ever since. I haven't taken on any debt. And whenever there's a downturn in the algorithm, or revenues are down, it's certainly a storm I'm able to ride out simply by being financially responsible. And that's something I think I would recommend everyone strives to take care of, regardless as to where you are in life, or what your job is, or what you're doing. Get rid of your debts and prepare for the worst. And of course, spend some money and save up. I've certainly been fortunate And I've been able to buy a lot of the things I need for this channel. This year alone, I built a whole new desktop setup. I purchased a MacBook Air. I was able to buy a new mirrorless camera and a lot of other smaller accessories. And I find myself every year continuously investing in the channel, on top of all the travel expenses and that sort of thing. Without sort of that, or outside of that, I'm pretty frugal otherwise. And look how windy this is. I'm going to cross over to the south side of Avenue Road here. But had I have not put myself in a position to weather the storms and take on the risk of being a full-time YouTuber, I don't think I would be here doing this today. I probably would have stuck to a job I didn't like very much in the office. So long story short, is my channel dying? Is it failing? No and no. I'm able to cover all of my expenses. I'm able to purchase the equipment I need, do a little bit of traveling, and save a little modestly for the future. So I've got no plans on going anywhere, and I'm not really going to change the formula or the script a whole lot. So unless I have a number of down years in a row, I don't think I'm really going to be changing the script a whole lot or doing anything differently. The channel's still going to be focused on Toronto content, as well as the occasional travel that I do. And anything that falls outside of that bubble will be over on the Johnny Stumbles channel for the most part. And as I mentioned, you'll see some non-traditional walking content from time to time on this channel, but I firmly remain a part of the Walktubing genre and community, and we've got a great community of Walktubers here in the city. But yeah, that's my response to Action Kid. It's pretty much in agreement with everything he said. I've been experiencing many of the same things, and I know a number of other content creators on the platform that would also agree with that. But I want to hear your takes, so let me know your thoughts and comments and perspectives down below. I am on St. Clair, just east of Avenue Road, and I think what I'm going to do is pull out my gimbal here. Oh, it's cold, but I'm out. And I don't have a video for tomorrow, so I'm going to have to edit this one when I get home and get it up. I've got some tissue embarrassingly clinging to my gimbal, so I'm going to do a live stream right now. But thank you so much for watching. There are links to my channel membership and Patreon down in the description. I've got an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. Anywho, thanks for watching, guys. Yoink.